So you're wondering what it's like to live in Orem, Utah. Join the crowd. There are hundreds of people that have heard good things about Orem, about the economy, about the education, about the healthcare and the quality of life. And we all want to know, what's it like to live here? I'm Micah Olson. I am your Utah County YouTubing realtor. I make videos to help people get to know the various cities and areas in Utah County. So if you're into that, like and subscribe below, or book a consultation directly to my calendar by using the link below. Orem, Utah is one of my favorite cities in Utah County. I've personally lived in Orem for over 22 years. I've raised children here. I've worked here. I love this city. So I will give you the pros, but I also know a bunch of cons about living here that you'll want to consider before you decide if this is going to be the place for you. Let's start with my number one favorite pro about living in Orem, and that's the outdoor recreation. There are hiking and walking and running trails, there's biking paths, and you're so close to the mountains just to the east of Orem. Great access to hiking and trail running and all kinds of things that you can do. Down to the west of Orem, you've got Utah Lake, where you can windsurf, you can actually get sailboats. There's a marina that you can launch out onto the lake. Probably not the best lake in Utah. It's a little bit shallow, so you don't see a lot of water skiing and things around there, but that makes it a lot better for so many of the wind sports that you can do. Having the Wasatch Mountains and all of their colors and beauty in the fall and in the spring and in the summer, and then having Utah Lake right there really makes this a great place. Orem also has a lot of really cool parks that are available for people to use. One of my favorites is the All Together playground right down by the city center office buildings. It's a place where children of all ages and all abilities can come and hang out and play, and regardless of disabilities or challenges that children have, everybody has a fun time together. I definitely recommend that you check out the All Together playground. And I know that this one isn't technically an outdoor recreation, and that's the pro that we're talking about, but the Orem Rec Center is a great place as well. Excellent swimming, fun playgrounds in the pool areas and slides and lazy rivers inside. There's an elevated jogging track, there's basketball, there's pickleball, there's all kinds of classes, Pilates, yoga, cycling, everything that you can imagine, and it's really inexpensive if you're an Orem resident. Now, with all of those entertainment things that I've talked about as the pro, let's talk about something that may be a con for some people. There's not a lot of great nightlife. You're not going to find really hip clubs and places to go and get a drink and things like that. Orem is really not geared around that type of entertainment. If that's what you're looking for, you'll probably have to drive at least 30 minutes to the north, maybe about an hour up into Salt Lake to find those types of venues. Although we do have outdoor theater, indoor theater, lots of concerts and performances around. There's the Timpanogos Storytelling Festival every summer. There's a pretty cool water park, outdoor water park in the summer called the Sarah Water Park. So really lots of entertainment opportunities that are here. And that's one of the reasons, we'll list this as another pro of living in Orem, that's one of the reasons that it's considered Family City USA. We'll talk about some of the other reasons it's considered Family City USA, in addition to the recreational opportunities, the cultural events. I've already mentioned a few of those, but there's also farmers markets and outdoor plays like I've mentioned. Every winter there's a big live nativity with real camels and donkeys and things going. There's really some cool cultural events that add to that family-friendly vibe. And of course, one of the things that you'll notice you've probably already heard about, that's another pro and another reason that it's a family-friendly city, is the very low crime rates. The national average of violent crime rates is 2.86 per 1,000 residents in any given area. In Orem, it's actually less than 1 per 1,000. It's 0.86 per 1,000. This information is reported by Neighborhood Scout. Another reason that this is a really great place to live is the educational opportunities. UVU is likely the largest university in Utah at this time. I just looked at their 2023 numbers. They had over 44,000 students enrolled, and it has amazing programs that are starting to get national recognition. There's a lot of university and public-private partnerships that are going on for job placement and internships. There was actually just a news article about two brothers that graduated the aviation program at UVU and launched an airline called Breeze Airlines, and they just flew their inaugural flight out of the Provo airport. So really cool entrepreneurial spirit and programs at UVU. Great international business, great nursing programs, great aviation programs, one of the best secondary and elementary education programs in the state. So very, very good programs at UVU. Moving from postgraduate education down into secondary and elementary education, if you look at great schools, Orem, Utah has a lot of 10 out of 10 ranked schools, lots of 9 out of 10s, lots of 8 out of 10s. Great schools really likes the educational opportunities in Orem. And one of my favorites, my niece actually went to a school called UCAS, UCAS, which is a program that happens in high school where students come into Orem, and we literally have students from all around the county commuting into Orem for this. When they graduate high school, they also have a full associate's degree from UVU. Now, it's hard work. I remember some of the homework and things that my niece was doing, but how cool is that to be able to graduate high school with a full associate's degree? 2 years later, you can have your bachelor's. Really, really cool program. The other thing that I love, Alpine School District has some of the best vocational programs that I've ever seen directly within the school district. I sold a house to a teacher. She happened to be a teacher for Alpine School District, but this house was a brand new construction built by students, high school juniors and seniors, with contractors that were helping and teaching. But these kids can come out of high school, work for a year in a construction trade, and get their general contractor licensing. And there's all kinds of other vocational opportunities that are offered by Alpine School District. So education is definitely one of the best pros of living in Orem. And as I'm talking about drive times, let's talk about a couple more pros, cons, and things related to transportation and commuting and proximity to other places. I'm going to list the first one kind of in a 50-50, kind of a pro, kind of a con. To get up to Salt Lake, you're about an hour, a little bit less than an hour. To get out to Park City, about the same. Some of my favorite ski resorts like Brighton are just under an hour away, so a little bit of a commute if you're getting up there, although there's not too many places that you can live in the United States in general where you're within an hour of a ski resort, and I don't think that that's generally on people's must-haves of a city. Additionally, the Salt Lake International Airport, you're about 45, 55 minutes, depending on drive times and traffic and things like that. So you're close to an international airport, not extremely close though. Those are probably cons. However, on the flip side, you're so close to the mountains, so close to the trails. You're 25 minutes from your driveway to parking at Sundance, 25 minutes, and they have pretty good skiing and snowboarding in the winter, amazing mountain biking and trails in the summer, and then obviously the Sundance Film Festival that has international recognition. 25 minutes to get there from Orem. As far as public transportation and walkability, in my opinion, and you'll hear me say this on a couple of other videos if you're watching some of the other cities that I've done videos on, Orem is not really a walkable city per se. If you're attending UVU, there's probably some walkability. There's on-campus housing. You can walk across the street to Walmart. You can jump on the UVX bus and get up to Provo or get down to the light rail. Light rail actually will take you all the way down to Provo and all the way up into Salt Lake and out to the airport. So maybe the southwest kind of university section of Orem would be considered walkable, but in general, Orem is not an extremely walkable city. There is good transportation. I love the UVX system. It's a free bus. You can look it up. It actually runs, like I said, all the way down from the light rail in Orem, touches UVU, drives up into BYU, and it's a dedicated lane all the way up. So good elements of public transportation. There's the UTA bus hub is actually in Orem, but not like Paris, France, where you can get anywhere in the entire city and never own a car. That'll bring me to another con, the traffic congestion. Now, don't get me wrong, we're not talking about like LA rush hour kind of traffic here. But there are times, especially around rush hour in the morning and in the evening, and if there's a BYU home game that's happening, traffic can get congested. Orem sits right along I-15, and most of Provo, people traveling out to the east and south, most of those people will come through Orem on their way there. So you get a lot of traffic along the main thoroughfares, especially at rush hour, especially when there's a BYU home game. So traffic can get a little congested. There aren't very many major arterial type roads that are going. There's no belt loop through Orem. So the surface streets can get a little bit crowded at times. While we're talking about cons, let's jump on another one that could be good, could be bad, depending on the time of year. That's air quality. Orem is actually considered by AARP as a very clean air city. They rank it as 7.7 bad air days per year, which is below the national average, and in general considered pretty healthy. However, in the winter time, we get what we call an inversion, and this really applies to all of Salt Lake County down to the bottom of Utah County. We're sitting in kind of this valley of mountains, and all of the smog and exhaust from cars and things like that gets trapped under these low pressure systems and just is held there. And there will really be some days where there's just mucky, yucky air until a storm comes in and blows them through. That can be a little bit disheartening at times. You'll hear about a few red air days in the wintertime, and then in the summertime you get allergies. I mean, you're living close to mountains, there's open space, there's parks, there's trees, so allergies can be an issue at times for people as well. Those types of air quality events are definitely a con for Orem. However, in general, AARP and others places rank Orem as a very clean environment. We have great health, lower hospitalization rates, higher clean air days. So 98% of the year, we have excellent health and quality of life. On a few of the days, you're not going to love the air. With weather, talking about winter, that's going to be another con for this area for a lot of people. And this, again, this is applicable pretty much anywhere from central Utah all the way up to northern Utah. We get some pretty severe winter weather at times. A lot of the days will be fine. It'll be cold, but it's sunny and the roads are clear. But multiple times every winter, you're going to have storms that blow through with severe weather warning, high winds, snow on the roads, ice, and it can be just a very cold and snowy type of environment in the winter here. My local tip for anybody that's coming from a warmer area, I moved to Utah over 24 years ago, I think, from Las Vegas, and I couldn't take the winters. Find a winter sport, find something that will make you happy when there's a snowstorm. Take up cross-country skiing or snowshoeing or learn how to snowboard or ski and get up into the resorts. That really helped us out as a family as we were living here. Now when we see the snow, we're all saying, yes, let's get up to the hills and let's go. So find something that will help you enjoy the winters in Utah, or this one will be a big con. Now let's talk about a huge pro, and this is really probably the major reason that everybody's wanting to come to Orem. We have incredible economic stability and economic opportunity, especially in the sectors of technology, education, and healthcare. There are great opportunities here, both for us personally and the quality of life, but also for business opportunities and startups and jobs. Orem is a very healthy, very thriving economic center of business. Job stability is great, economic outlook is great. Orem has been ranked among some of the top cities in the country for 15-year outlooks. It's a great place to live. Another con of living in Orem comes with all of this economic opportunity and growth and people wanting to be here, and that's cost of living. We're a little bit higher than the national average for housing. I think we're a little bit lower still. We were right about even at the national average for things like groceries and stuff. Property taxes are a little bit lower than the national average, but because of housing overall, the cost of living is going to show up just above the halfway mark for Orem compared to the nation as a whole. However, if you're coming from cities like San Francisco or Portland or Seattle or Atlanta or Phoenix, cost of living here is going to actually seem quite a bit better. Nationwide average, our cost of living is a little bit above the 50% mark, for number of cities that we're either higher cost of living or lower cost of living. So that can be a con for some people, especially if you're coming from a more rural setting. You'll notice noticed a little bit higher prices here. That's it for the pros and cons of living in Orem. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or if you want to see other videos about living in different places, check out my channel, like, subscribe, and book a consultation with me. I look forward to talking with you.